Peace, assalamu alaikum, hotel, grand rising, praise God, what's up, what's happening, or whatever it is that you subscribe to. Now I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna share with y'all a story about how wild I was and how doing what I did let me know now that I had some serious mental health issues. We was in McAllen, Texas, and for those who don't know what McAllen, Texas is, it's deep down in Texas, on the border, the Texas and Mexico border. It's so deep down south, like you have to go through border patrol. I don't care which direction you going into McAllen. Now, it's McAllen, Brownsville, and it's a few more other towns. They call it the Valley. Nothing but Mexicans. I can count on my hand how many black and white people I seen while I was down there. Now, I got to share the backstory and let y'all know how I got to McAllen, Texas. So, I was rapping. For those who know my story, we had this rap group called Too Loyal. You know, I was doing my solo thing too. And the guy that was part of the rap group, just me and him, he was doing his solo thing too. And we had an entourage. Like, we damn near formulated a gang. And our sign was the Two. We told the Twos up for Too Loyal. But my homeboy that was rapping with me, I think he was a vice lord. Yeah, he was a vice lord, but he started his own group called the Players. As a youngster, he started his own group called the Players, and he had a lot of young, wild cats with him. So when we linked up, he brought his guys with me, and then I had a lot of young cats that I was feeding in the L and the P, and you know, they came with me and we merged. I'm talking about when we went to the club, we was deep. But back to the story. Going to McAllen, Texas, it was probably about 10 of us. It was me, Paradise Dice Gang, my brother Fatback, my brother Ed Kills, my brother Mike, Heartbeats. For those who don't know Heartbeats, he's a producer in Mississippi. He heavy in the game. That's who used to do all our beats. It was Heartbeats. It was Grind Wayne. Now, Grind Wayne was from Bogalusa, Louisiana. He live in Atlanta now. Shout out to Grind Wayne. I see you doing your thing, boy. And me and Grind Wayne, we kind of related because, you know, both of us been to prison. But anyway, shit, my brother was in the prison too. But you know, me and Grind Wayne, we just clicked because we kind of thought alike. But and it was a guy from Virginia. It was a guy from Richmond, Virginia. We had rented a little bus. He was on there with us, but I can't remember his name. But anyway, we had a show with Juvenile. Yeah, Back That Up Juvenile from New Orleans, Louisiana. We had a show with him in McAllen, Texas. Now, he was the headliner, but we shut that shit down. I swear to God. We shut it down to the point where he, you know, and this happened to us on quite a few occasions when we had shows with rappers who was popular, but really wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Juvenile a legend, but I'm saying he really wasn't popular. Like, he wasn't no Drake, he wasn't no Rick Ross or, you know, no Gotti, but he a legend, you know what I mean? So I ain't trying to take nothing from him, but I'm saying he ain't really had no motion. He really wasn't doing too many shows, dropping no albums or nothing like that. And then you had the guy, YC from Atlanta, Racks on Racks on Racks. Like, he came to Hattiesburg and did a show. He was the headliner, but we shut that shit down to the point where both of these times, and there's a few more other times, but I'm gonna get to the story, that after we performed, they came on, they asked us to come on stage because we were so crunk, you know what I mean? But anyway, so we had the show with Juvenile, and in this story, I'm gonna share two stories within one to let you know I had some mental issues. But anyway, we do the show with Juvenile. I'm talking about nothing but Mexican females in here, few white females. We rocked it. You know, they loving us, you know what I mean? And after the show, I'm ready to go back to the room. They went to the strip club. Me, I really didn't do the strip club. Now, I done been a couple times, but I ain't finna throw no money. I'm gonna buy me a drink, I'm gonna sip, I'm gonna watch it shake your ass, and I'm gonna go by my business. Because strip clubs really wasn't, you know, it really didn't do nothing for me. But anyway, so everybody else went to the strip club except my brother Mike, because he was a Christian. He really ain't had no business hanging with us. He ain't drinking nothing like that, but you know, he wanted to come along on the trip with us just to see how we, you know what I mean, how we rock. He enjoyed himself though. But anyway, me and Mike didn't go to the strip club. We went back to the room. Now, everybody kind of had their own room. I think me and Paradise, we shared a room. And you know, Mike went to his room. I went to my room, but let me take it back. So before we leave the club, it's this white girl, don't know her name, didn't even ask her name. She was kind of fine, she was thick, and you know, at the time, you know, I'm a real live player out here in these streets. You know what I mean? I was knocking them down. Fresh out of prison, I think I had been home about 2 years at this time. Fresh out of prison, rapping, got a little fame, and so, you know, I told the white girl to get in the van, little groupie junk. She grouped up, she groupied up. So she get in the van, so we smash off, and you know, I smashed her. So she stayed in there for a long time. I know I smashed her like 2-3 times, and you know, they coming back. It's like 3-4 in the morning. They coming back from the strip club, and you know, Brian Wayne, he wanna hit. I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't participating in all that. If she lets you hit, then that's on her, but she ain't let him hit. But anyway, I said all that to say, like, what person in their right mind? And I know a lot of people do it, and I don't care what you say, that is a mental health issue, to be sleeping with women you don't even know. Like, this lady could have had AIDS, you know what I mean? This lady could have had all kind of stuff going on. She could have been setting me up to get robbed. It could have been all kind of stuff going on, but me so pro, and I told y'all that I'm admitting it, like, one of my mental health issues was having sex with different women. I don't even know this lady's name, bro. Like, just thinking about it now, like, dude, you throwed off. Like, yeah, I done did this one night stand thing on multiple occasions, but I'm thinking about it now because I'm just reflecting on my past, everything that I done, the bullshit I done, you know what I mean, all the accomplishments I done made. I'm thinking like, dang, bro, you had it bad, bro. Like, you really could have AIDS. You really could be dead right now because of how you was moving. But I had still have a mental health issue that I'm trying to heal from. I'm working on it. So that's part one of the story. Now, I would end it and then go to another story, but I'm gonna kind of make this one a little long and tell both stories within the same story, because we still in McAllen, Texas, with the story. So boom, we leave McAllen, go back home, get to doing what we were doing, selling dope, you know, turning up in the club, popping bottles, standing on couches, doing all that stupid shit. And then look, we spending all this money on these bottles, $300, $400, $500, $600 on a bottle, when we could have went and got the liquor store. We could have went to the liquor store and got the same bottle for $50. Just stupid, man. Like, you know, I think back, like, we brought. Anyway, so we come back home, but one of the Mexicans, in the club we performed at, you know, we swapped information. And, you know, I kept in contact with him. We kept in contact. And I'm just letting y'all know how crazy I was. How mentally ill I was to even do this. But, I mean, I guess it came with the lifestyle. I know you got some people would do stuff like this in the name of making a sacrifice, but that wasn't no sacrifice. That was retarded. Just me being still now and thinking about it. Like, I could be dead for doing this. But anyway, so we keep in contact after we leave McAllen, Texas, right? So we back home, we back to the studio every day, you know, doing what we do every day. And our plug, we had a Dominican plug, a real Dominican. Now, this was my brother people. Now, how my brother met this guy, I don't really know the story how I met. Like, that's another thing about me. Let me go to a commercial break, if I may. When I was doing my thing, building my name up, I wasn't getting no connections. You know, in my mind, you know, that's what my Fatback and Ill Kills, that's what they do. I don't care. All I want to do is get to work, make the money, and go to the studio. That's all I wanted to do, and perform and rap. You know what I mean? That's all I wanted to do. So, the plug, our Dominican plug, I'm talking about, he had that Christina Aguilera, however you say it. He had that shit, and that shit was potent. He had the stamp on that shit. And I used to cook dope, and I told y'all in a few stories, you know, the dude that set me up when I went back to prison the second time. I don't know if I told this story. I can't remember if I did. But, you know, I used to cook dope for him. I used to cook dope for a lot of cats in the hood. That was another one of my hustles. So I really didn't even have to sell dope. I could just cook it. But anyway, this dude, Cocaine, was so fire. He had the stamp on it. He had the scorpion on it. And I'm talking about, that shit looked like crystals. They're like, every time he came through, like, we were happy to get his shit. And we were getting, and I'm talking about, me and my brother and them, we wasn't no nickel and diamond. Like, we really was getting work. I'm talking about, when we get marijuana, we was getting about a bundle. I know a lot of people ain't never seen no bundle, but we was getting about a bundle, and it took us hours to break it down. And we was getting this cocaine, it was so potent. We were remixing it, you know what I mean? We were remixing it because it was so good, you know what I mean? And, you know, we were getting it in and sleeping out. But anyway, the Dominican plug, he ended up getting popped. I don't remember how they met, but he was a CEO too. My brother Fatback, he was the CEO of Two Lawyer, and my brother Ill Kills, he was the CEO of OnLive Entertainment. Now, Ill Kills, he's still doing his thing in the music industry, but I think he then switched over to Southern Soul, which is a good move. So shout out to bro. But he live in Atlanta now. But anyway, he get the Dominican, oh yeah, I don't know how they hooked up, but he was doing music too, and he had a group of guys from Ohio. He had a group of guys from McAllen, Texas. Matter of fact, he had a house in McAllen, Texas. Now let me rewind. Let me go back for a minute. Now McAllen, Texas is known to be the cocaine capital. That's the motto. That's the basis of why I'm finna tell this story. But anyway, so we had a guy from Ohio down there with us, McAllen. I'm talking about, dude, he was kind of, he, if y'all can remember the Big Meat story on how he had people from different states coming together, they was doing music, but they was selling dope. This how this Dominican was. I don't even remember his name, but even if I knew his name, I probably wouldn't even say it. But he had guys that he was giving work to from different states, and he was, you know, funneling it through the music, you know what I mean? But anyway, he ended up getting popped. Now, we had another plug. I want to say his name so bad, but I ain't gonna say his name. because a lot of people know who he is. And I seen bro in Slidell, Louisiana about a year ago. I seen him at Lowe's. He a realtor now. And, you know, y'all know I was doing home improvement, so we ended up seeing each other. We were happy to see each other too, but I ain't gonna say his name. But we had him too, but his shit wasn't as potent as the Dominican. But he was the one we was getting the bundles of weed from. And the Dominican, you know, he had the cocaine. So we trying to find another cocaine plug because he done got popped. So again, McAllen, Texas, the Valley, this part of Texas that we went to do the show with Juvenile at, it's considered the cocaine capital, and they killing them Mexicans, them cartel people. I'm talking about they killing down there like crazy. I mean, I don't know how it is now, but back then they were knocking them off. But anyway, so I'm thinking, I'm like, dang, bro, you know, I still talk to that girl, that Mexican and McAllen. So he was like, well, shit, see what you could do. So me being me, thinking I'm a player, really just retarded. You know, we talked, and I was living with my wife at the time. We wasn't married then, but we were living together. Like I told y'all, this is the only person I ever lived with. So I lied to her. That's why I say I did a lot of crazy shit. I lied to her and told her, I think I told her I was going to Ohio or something. Like, I look back and I think about the stupid shit, all the lies I done told. But anyway, so I lied to my wife. She was my wife then. Like, I was going to Ohio because I got my mama from Ohio. I got family up there, but the whole time, me and the girl then said we finna be together and I can come out there and live with her. But she not knowing I'm only coming out here trying to find a plug. I'm talking about that, the most retarded shit I could have ever done. And I done did shit way more worse than this. But anyway, and this is a true story, bro. I done did some shit and been involved in some shit. But anyway, so I get a Greyhound. I catch the Greyhound. I go out there. Man, it took me about 3 days to get out there. Anyway, I get out there. I'm talking about she fine. I haven't talked to her in a while. We used to keep in touch, but she said I broke her heart and all that. And the dude who was gonna be the plug, they wanted to kill me, but that's another story. I mean, that I'm gonna get to that later. So I get down there on the first night I get down there. I went and took a shower. Now, I'm ready to smash. You know, y'all already know me. But I'm talking about she was so thick and fine. But she acted just like a ghetto black girl. Like, we used to go to the store and shit, and another Mexican woman looking at me, she ready to fight. I'm talking about, oof. And I stayed out there like 2 months. But anyway, so the first night, before I smashed her sister lived across the street and her mama lived like 2 houses down. But, you know, they was having a get together. And them Mexicans, bro, I ain't never seen nobody party like them. I'm talking about we drank. I'm talking about they drunk. I know I can drink. I used to drink, but they drunk me under the table. And I'm talking about they turned up all night. And we ain't make it back across the street to about 5 or 6 o'clock that morning. I smashed her. She still had to get up and go to work. But anyway, a few days later, maybe a week, I can't remember. And y'all, I bullshit you not. I know a lot of people be capping when they be telling certain stories, but I bullshit you not. This is the honest God truth. A guy that her sister was married. I don't know if they was married. I can't remember if they was married or they was just boyfriend and girlfriend. But he got out the feds about a week later after I went out there with her. And, you know, he came to see her, they hugged. I think he had been gone about 5 years. And, you know, he talking to me and whatnot. And, but let me go back a little bit. So she had like 5 sisters. And one of the sisters that stayed across the street, she had a boyfriend. So that night, me and him were talking, and I cut straight into him like, bro, I'm trying to find a, you know, plug. And he was like, what you looking for? I'm like, you know, cocaine, pills, ecstasy pill. X was popping back then. It don't matter what it is. And you know, him and dude, they talking that Mexican shit. And that was dangerous for me even being in that environment. Don't know what the hell going on. But, you know, he was like, yeah, we can do something, but his numbers really wasn't making sense. So fast forward, the dude get out, I can't even remember his name, but he was plugged in with the Mexican cartel. I bullshit you not. And this is how dangerous this is. Like, this is how I know, like, boy, you was throwed off. Like, you had some real mental issues. But anyway, so I wait. You know, he come around, we talk. You know what I mean? He telling me they really care about Monica. Her name was Monica. But, you know, I'm black and from the South. It's Monica to me. But they were saying they really care about, and I'm saying her real name. I ain't gonna say her last name though, but they really care about Monica, and I need to treat her right, and they gonna do something to me if something ever happened. Now Monica, she had 3 kids, and they was all from different black dudes, so she had a fetish for black dudes. But she was so fine though. But anyway, you know, so we talk. They inviting us over to their house to eat sometime, and then we invite them over to eat. You know, they cooking all the Mexican food. That shit was good. But these folk partied damn near every night, bro. And so one night, Monica threw, it was a fight. I forgot who the fight was, but it was a black dude and a white dude. Now all these a black dude and a Mexican dude. It was like 2000 and, I want to say 10 or 11, somewhere around there. So I forgot who the fight was, but it was a black and a Mexican. Now all these Mexicans, they going for the Mexican dude. And Monica, the girl I'm messing with, she the only one that it got hot. She the only one that's going for the black dude, and the black dude ended up winning, so she won all the money or whatever they did. But I was so drunk, I really didn't have my ass on the fight. I don't even be watching no shit like that. I don't even watch sports for real. But anyway, so this particular night, before I just get real drunk, you know what I mean, I cut into the dude, knowing he just got out the feds, and you know, but to make a long story short, you know, he with it. I'm talking about he with it. He was asking me how he would, bro, I swear, if this shit would have went through, we would have got rich, or we would have ended up in prison for the rest of our life, or we would have ended up dead. But this was no small time dude. He talking about getting a warehouse and trucks, whatever we want, cocaine and weed. But he was explaining to me that I have to have people. He was explaining to me that I have to stay over there. I have to stay in McAllen to be with Monica, and I have to have people back home to move all the work, to build a foundation, to get the warehouse. He'll get the truck, but he gonna front the money to get the warehouse. He was serious. He fresh home, so he trying to get back in the swing of things. And I'm gonna tell you how serious he was in a minute. So the next day, I called my brother. I'm like, bro, I think I found something. He was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. So, you know, I ran it down to him. He was like, well, shit. He's saying, you gotta stay. And it's crazy because my brother really wanted me to stay over there. That's crazy now that I think about it. But he was like, shit, we gonna come down there in a couple days. So So I told the plug that, you know, my brother, they gonna come, but they gonna meet, they gonna talk, they gonna set up everything. So everything gonna get put in motion. So my brother and them drive, my brother, his wife, they weren't married at the time, and 2 cats from Pensacola, Florida. I ain't gonna say their name though. I think they locked up right now. And they came over there. They drove to McAllen. And it's crazy because they said on their way back, they got pulled over. That's just how serious that shit was. But they ain't had nothing, so everything was all good. But they came over there. They stayed in a hotel for like 2 nights. Him and my brother chopped it up. They set everything up. And so we just waiting. We just waiting on the word. So a couple weeks go by, they had a party, and somehow I got invited. Me and Monica went to the party. They told me to come to the backyard. And bro, I'm telling y'all, I swear this is a true story. So I go to the backyard, and you know, I'm thinking this is strength. I'm thinking I'm showing them like I ain't scared, but I was really being stupid. They had dogs back there, dogs barking, so I ain't even flinching. I'm like, y'all ain't scaring me if that's what y'all think y'all doing. You know what I mean? And they telling me how serious this is. You know what I mean? Like, if I have to stay with Monica, and if something happen over there with my brother and them, then it's gonna be me to get dealt with. So, you know, I'm understanding. You know what I mean? Just, I'm talking about, I'm so fucking crazy. Like, boy, you know what kind of situation. That's why I always say, like, God, the creator, Jesus, Allah, Buddha, whoever, the universe has been with me my whole life, through all my stupidity and everything. But make a long story short, the girl kind of started peeping, like, you know, you over here to trying to find a plug. Like, you really ain't trying to be with me. And so she was like, what I'm gonna do, you know, you could just go back home, cause you know, you don't really want me for real. You got what you came over here for. And make a long story short, I ended up going back home. But me and dude, we still communicating and we setting it up. So the move was gonna be either we setting it up or he setting us up. Cause like I told y'all, like, they wanted me to stay with Monica, but it didn't work out. So I don't know, you know, this is just how crazy I am. I don't know if he finna set me up for the okey-doke or this really finna happen. But anyway, him and my brother, they set up a meet spot in Memphis, Tennessee. We struck out to Memphis, Tennessee. Me, my brother, I ain't even gonna say them other two. It was 2 females, but I ain't gonna say their name. We struck out to Memphis, Tennessee. Now we thinking we finna get some work, like soon as we get to Memphis. But it was really another test. So we get to Memphis. He got us a hotel, and you know, he asked my brother and the girl he was with, the lady he was with, he asked them for their ID. So they gave him the ID. He kept it for a few hours, and he came back and he brought it back. And he was like, if y'all serious, like, once the check come back, you know, it's gonna go down. So my brother was like, well, we ain't gonna get it. He was like, no, not right now. So my brother, he frustrated and shit. And so they end up leaving, but me and the girl, we stayed. Now me and the girl, we wasn't having sex or nothing like that. They were just gonna be used as mules to bring the work back, but we wouldn't do it, like, we weren't getting the work today. But anyway, make a long story short, I stayed that night I stayed that night. And so before I went to my room and went to sleep, me and the plug, we were chopping it up. And he was like, remember what I told you, don't about Monica? And I'm like, yeah, what you talking about? He was like, you know, this is the time. I ain't know what he meant, what he was talking about, but none of that. But I'm like, all right, whatever. So I went in there and went to sleep. And then when I got up the next morning, I tried to call him. He didn't answer. Went straight to his voicemail. Went to the room, knocked on the door. Wasn't no knock on the door and nothing. So I told bro. And I was like, well, what he say when when he got y'all IDs or whatnot? And he was like, man, everything cool. Just waiting on him to come back. But I'm like, dang, he ain't answering the phone or nothing. What you want me to do? And he was like, bro, just stay another night. I'm like, bro, I ain't finna stay another night. He was like, why, you scared? I was like, yeah, I'm scared. And he was like, man, come on home. Y'all hold on for a second. Hey, what's going on, bro? All right. You too. Y'all know I live on base, so we had to go through the checkpoint, just like the story I'm talking about. We had to go through the border and shit. But anyway, so he was like, man, just come on home, bro. We'll figure it out. So me and the girl, we get on the highway and smash. I never heard from the dude again, bro. Never heard. I don't know what happened. Like, I just don't know. But the only thing I'm saying is, bro, I'm telling myself now, because I got a chance to be still. Like, bro, you really was retarded for even trying something like that in the name of a sacrifice to get some work. You know what I mean? Now, I believe had I stayed over there and kept my word, because you know them Mexicans, they big on their word in the streets, but when they come to court, they gonna tell too. But anyway, I believe had I stayed and made it work with Monica, like I said, we would have been rich if that would have went through. Because dude, he was dead serious, but I don't know what happened. Me and Monica, we kind of stayed in touch. We kind of stayed in touch, but we never did see each other again. And yeah, man, that's how mentally unstable I was. Now, to some people who may be watching this, and you know they in the streets, they selling dope, they probably like, man, you should have did this, or man, you should have did, man, whatever. I'm glad I even made it out of the situation. And I'm furthermore glad that I'm in a space now that my mental capacity is healing, and I can think back and reflect on how stupid I was for even trying to do something like that, man. So, man, y'all check y'all mental health, bro. It's real out here, man. It's real out here. Check your mental health. I'm checking mine. I'm trying to heal from mine so I can, move on with my life. And, I be telling my wife, she be thinking I'm crazy, but I be telling her, like, sometimes, I know some people and I know some stories, like, as soon as they, get their life together, that's when something happens. That's when they die or whatever. But I be telling my wife, like, I done did a lot. I done lived, like, if I die right now, the only thing I want, really, is for me and my daughter's situation to get better. But if I die right now, I'm gonna be at peace. I'm gonna be at peace because I feel like I done escaped death so many times. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I want to die. No, I don't want to die. Like, I got mental issues, but it ain't to the point where I'm ready to die. Nah. I'm saying, like, I want to die. Like, I'm ready, yeah. If it happened, it happened, but I don't want to die. Like, I am not finna unalive myself or nothing like that. But yeah, y'all check y'all mental health. Peace.